After the draw with Japan, the manager was hammered as too conservative, so he rolled the dice. And the answer came back 5-1. Yet the manager himself, after putting 5 past them, said his team could be better. Let's get into it. The real story of this match came off the bench first. Ronald Koeman. After a 2-2 draw with Japan in the opener, he was criticized for being too conservative. His answer was a single change. He dropped Crescencio Summerville, who'd scored in the first game, and started Brian Brobbey as his striker. And the gamble was settled inside 17 minutes. Brobbey struck in the 5th and the 17th to make it 2-0, according to Opta, the 4th fastest brace in World Cup history. The media verdict was clear. Goal said Koeman's Brobbey gamble had paid off, and one British outlet wrote he'd issued an emphatic riposte to his critics. A Netherlands side that had only flickered against Japan looked transformed, sharp, ruthless, and finally clicking. The criticized manager had his answer in 17 minutes, but the man who finished the job was another star entirely. After the break, Cup Gakpo took over the game. 2 goals in the 47th and 54th, just 7 minutes apart. Of a player who'd faced form questions at Liverpool, Yahoo and Goal wrote that a World Cup Gakpo had silenced his doubters. The Netherlands' best player at the 2022 World Cup had come alive again on that same stage. But several outlets pointed to a different hero, right-back Denzel Dumfries. He delivered 2 assists. Sports Mole called him a not Brobbey, not Gakpo, but Koeman's most important player. Per Opta, no player has more assists across the last 2 World Cups. His for our level with Croatia's Ivan Perišić. And substitute Summerville made it 5 in the 89th, only the 3rd Dutchman, after Depay and Gakpo, to score in each of his first 2 World Cup games. The attack was dazzling, the scoreline overwhelming, and yet the manager's face was anything but satisfied. For a manager who'd just won 5-1, Koeman's verdict was surprisingly cold. He said, "A great result, but enough moments of which we say, that could be better." He singled out the first half. When Sweden changed their approach, he admitted it took his side too long to recognize it. 5 goals scored, and the manager looked first at what to fix. The media touched the same nerve. Even amid the rout, Yahoo and Goal said Koeman needs to stop playing Micky van der Ven at left-back, where he's become a real liability. And there was substance to it. Late in the first half, Sweden's Isaac and Gioka's forced strong saves from goalkeeper Bart Verbruggen. Behind the emphatic scoreline, there's clearly homework left for the knockouts. Even the winning side came away with homework. But a 5-1 like this raises a bigger question: are the Netherlands actually contenders now? Here's the context. Before the tournament, the Netherlands weren't in anyone's top tier. The Opta supercomputer had Spain, France, England, and Argentina out in front, with the Dutch a dark horse at around 3.6%. The reputation was talent without trophies, a golden generation that flatters, then fades. This performance pushed back on that. Multiple outlets wrote the Netherlands had belatedly announced themselves as serious contenders, and the reasons are concrete. Gakpo and Brobbey give them a cutting edge up front. Dumfries is the most productive wing-back of the last 2 World Cups. And the spine, Van Dijk in defense, Frenkie de Jong and Reinders in midfield, is genuinely elite. There's history behind it too. Per Opta, the Netherlands are unbeaten in 13 straight World Cup games since the 2010 final. The joint longest unbeaten run in World Cup history, level with the great Brazil side of 1958 to 1966. The caveats are real too, and Koeman named them himself: the wobble before the break, the left-back problem. But contenders aren't teams without flaws, they're teams who can win 5-1 and still find another level. For one night in Houston, the Netherlands looked like exactly that. A dark horse no longer, maybe, but this 5-1 wasn't only good news for the Dutch. For one team in the same group, it was closer to a disaster. The ripple from this result spread across all of Group F. The Netherlands moved top on 4 points and have all but secured the knockouts. Sweden, a dark horse after thrashing Tunisia 5-1 in their opener, collapsed by the same scoreline and dropped to 3rd. For all their talent, Sweden's only goal came from Newcastle's Anthony Elanga off the bench, after combining with Alexander Isak. And the mood among supporters flipped fast. After Gakpo's 2 goals, the doubts that followed him out of Liverpool gave way to a wave of a World Cup Gakpo's praise. The Dutch fans who'd grumbled about Koeman's caution were, by full-time, looking at an emphatic answer. On the other side, the worry building around Sweden only grew louder. But the team left with the biggest headache is Japan. With the Netherlands likely to beat Tunisia next and lock up first place, Japan now go head-to-head with Sweden for second. Japan first faced Tunisia on June 21 in Monterrey, then can't avoid a looming guillotine match against that same Sweden side. In the 48-team format, the best 8 third-place teams can also reach the round of 32, but finishing second is the sure way through. That's why one outlet billed a Japan-Sweden showdown as a single elimination match. The Netherlands 5-1, in effect, reshaped Japan's path in the cruelest way. One team is back among the contenders, one is on the brink, and Japan has been pushed onto the hardest road of all. So here's where it lands. Koeman's Brobbey gamble paid off inside 17 minutes, and with Gakpo's 2 goals and Dumfries' 2 assists, the Netherlands won 5-1, putting themselves firmly back among the contenders. The managers could be better aside. One match has set the group of death boiling again, into a survival fight between Japan and Sweden. Here's the forecast. The Netherlands beat Tunisia and go through as Group F winners. A revived attack through Gakpo and Dumfries is dangerous in the knockouts. But unless Koeman fixes the first half lapses and the left side he flagged himself, those weaknesses will bite against a heavyweight. And for that one second-place ticket, either Japan or Sweden is going home. The manager's gamble worked, and the stars came back. But the real test begins only after they escape the group of death.